off the plane together.
Last night, after it was all over.
Well, he just said that the man came in the cockpit and pointed a gun at his head, said it was the largest gun he'd ever seen in his life, and
Was the stewardess called up to the cockpit?
no, she was not.
Yeah, and what did he say happened then, the pilot?
Well, he did what he was told to do, naturally.
What did they
He shut his radios off and made a 109-degree turn and headed for Havana.
I couldn't see anything because I was way in the back. And when the stewardess said that we were nearing Havana and at gunpoint, so there was nothing else to it as far as I was concerned. That's all I gave us. No.
Did you see a man
Didn't have time to be. No, I never did see him at all.
How were you treated in Havana?
Wonderful.
Where did they take you to spend the night?
Stayed at the hotel, right there in the airport.
They several times had been on the point of surrendering to me to walk off of the aircraft, but right at the last moment, the father would refuse. Ultimately, I was able to get him to take the guns off at full cock, because the 17-year-old boy had a .45 at full cock with a safety off. Ultimately, they agreed to put them away. I finally suggested that the father take the .45 from the boy, which he did. And then I was starting to reach a point where I could do something.
Gil, why did you hit him so hard?
Well, actually, one doesn't think about a thing like this. He merely acts. I don't know whether I hit him so hard or not. That's yet to be determined, I think.
You think he had a pretty hard face, though, huh?
Well, he withstood it quite well.
Let me say that we have ordered today on a number of our planes the border patrolmen who will ride on a number of our flights. We are also going to insist that every airplane lock its door and that the door be strong enough to prevent entrance by force, and that possession of the key be held by those inside the cabin, so that pressure cannot be put on the members of the crew outside to have the door open. In addition, I'm hopeful that governments everywhere will use their maximum influence to discourage this kind of action, which endangers the lives of the crew, of the people involved, and which is an exercise in futility. And that is the view of this government, and we will take every means that we can to prevent not only the hijacking of our own planes, but the hijacking of other planes. And I'm hopeful that all concerned will do the same. It just endangers the lives of people who should be protected.
There seems to be some some doubt in the country as to whether the Russians really did put two men in orbit around the Earth as they had claimed. Are you satisfied from the evidence available to you that they did do what they said they did?
Yes.
After this latest Soviet space effort, Senator Long of Missouri, among others, said that the real problem was not our present space effort, but the lack of young Americans going into science. He pointed out that the Soviets are still graduating 3 times as many scientists as we are. Do you, sir, see anything that the government can and is doing to step up this problem?
Well, we are hopeful if we can secure the passage of the 8th Education Act, as well as the NDEA, which both of which offer scholarships to talented young men and women, that we can increase the number of scientists who may be graduating. In addition, of course, we have a good many very talented scientists, but we did not make a major effort in this area for many years, and we are now behind and paying the price of having the Soviet Union exploit a great propaganda advantage now on 3 separate occasions, with the flight of the Sputnik, the flight of Mr. Gagarin, and the most recent. They are still, as I've said before, many months ahead of us, and therefore we can look for other evidences of their superiority in this area. We are making a major effort, which will cost billions of dollars, but we cannot possibly permit any country whose intentions towards us may be hostile to dominate space. What I would like to see at the United Nations and elsewhere is an effort made to have space insured for peaceful purposes. The United States delegation to the General Assembly is going to make a major effort in that regard this year.
Mr. President, there's been lots.
This figure burst into the cockpit, obviously a very distraught and maniacal frame of mind, brandishing a pistol. The pistol, as I recall, is a .38 caliber Spanish made, possibly of a Star or Yama make, resembling a Colt service pistol, and he screamed, "We go to Havana, no trouble, we go to Havana or we all die," brandishing the pistol wildly with the hammer in the firing position. Our immediate concern was that someone would be shot accidentally. We immediately set up our course for Havana and asked his permission if we could get our maps and make the necessary calculations to get on the way to Havana. He wouldn't allow us to touch anything, no radios, no maps, until we were well out over the Gulf, bound for Havana. Some of his tension wore off, and I might say some of ours did. And we cajoled him into allowing us to do the necessary things in the cockpit we had to do.
The hijacking at the present is an attempt to export a plane to Cuba. The Border Patrolmen, under the authority in the law and delegated to them by the Secretary of State, are departure control officers. They have been denying illegal flights from our southeast region since November 1, 1959. This is simply an extension of the already
existing authority.
Existing authority. I am told that it's a very serious thing to have a firearm discharged in a pressurized jet at that altitude.